Hello and welcome back to Primed and Lubed. My name is Gene. This is Primed and Lubed for July the 7th, 2024, episode 374 as a whole. So it's going back to Lubed, going back to little mix videos that I've made, little chop pieces, but as a whole, 374 videos. How the hell are you guys? How's your summer going? I apologize for my attire. I was just in the pool actually all day here, basking in the Okanagan sun and enjoying it. And then tomorrow, or pretty much most of the week, I'm going to be absolutely dreading it as we're getting temperatures near 40 degrees, around 38. And I think actually Wednesday, we might actually surpass 40 and hit 41. So working in it, it sucks. Floating in my swimming pool, it's amazing. So there's two things to it. Anyway, guys, there's been a few things that has happened since last week. Obviously, Adam Henrique re-signs. We're going to get into a little bit of that. And I basically cut out the first 3 minutes of his segment with Jason Greger. A lot of good takeaways from that. And I will highlight those takeaways after I play that 3-minute section. Ryan McLeod, he got traded to the Buffalo Sabres for highly respected prospect, Matt Savoy, and I do believe he is the brother of the Savoy that's on the Oilers. I'm not sure right now, but I do believe he is. We're going to ask you the poll question. We're also going to take a look at some of the key dates going into the 2024-25 NHL season. And then I'm going to get your final thoughts, and I'll just give you a little hint on the final thoughts, just so you can kind of stew it over right now. Are we putting a little too much envy into what, oh my God, I'm losing... Can't think of my name right now. Jeff Jackson. What Jeff Jackson has done, just because we have a sample size of him, is are we overrating him a little bit quickly? I just want to get into that. So we'll have that as our final thought discussion. Let's get into the Ryan McLeod trade that happened. This one was kind of surprising, and the return was even more surprising because Ryan McLeod's a good player, but this Matthew Savoy, like I didn't know much about him. And as soon as the trade happened, I had to go onto YouTube videos and try to get some kind of feel for what this guy is. And nothing but high praise for this Matthew Savoy, to the point that they're actually thinking that he may be Adam Henrique's replacement in 2 or 3 years when Adam Henrique is done with the Oilers. So that's pretty high praise if you ask me. So anyway, let's get into that right now. So, yes, earlier this week, Ryan McLeod got traded to the Buffalo Sabres in exchange for, also with Tyler Tullio, in exchange for Buffalo's top prospect, Matt Savoy. Now, Matt Savoy has only played one NHL game thus far. So we're really basing this off of what he's done in juniors. His last year in juniors was 23-24, which was this year. For the Moose Jaw Warriors, he had basically 23 games played, 19 goals, 28 assists, 47 points. So he was basically averaging over 2 points a game in the Western Hockey League. So that is kind of a big deal. Over 2 points, over 2 points a game is a big deal. That being said, it is junior. Can that translate to the NHL level? I guess we'll find out soon enough. I don't know enough about this kid to really debate it. I do know he is an Albertan. He was born in St. Albert on New Year's Day, 2004. But I don't really know much about him. I do know Ryan McLeod had some speed and all that, but I think the Oilers won on this deal, actually. I think a lot of people are shaking their head at what Buffalo did. So it's very interesting how this will all play out. Again, he doesn't really have much of a sample size for NHL games. His NHL totals 1 game, no points. So there's nothing to go off NHL wise. But when it came to international stuff in 2019, he played for Canada White under 17, result fourth place. He played 6 games, had 1 goal, 5 assists, 6 points. At the World Juniors in 2024, Team Canada resulted in a 5th place finish. 4 games played, 1 assist, 1 point, four penalty minutes. So I mean, it's a bit of a gamble with him. But then again, I mean, Ryan McLeod, like, don't get me wrong, Ryan McLeod has a lot of speed, but I think his skill level needs improvement. And you also got to remember Ryan McLeod, by those times, had some big name players like Draisaitl and McDavid on the same line. So those guys, it doesn't matter who you are. If I was on the ice with McDavid, I'd probably score some goal. Well, maybe that's a bit of a stretch, but you know what I mean? Like, you don't really need a whole heck of a lot to look good when you're around those guys. So anyway, that was the big story that happened last week. I never did get back to that regarding that, as I was covering all the other events of free agency for that particular day. I'm very, very pleased to announce that the Edmonton Oilers have re-signed Adam Henrique. I really like what I saw out of him. I like his 200-foot game. I like what he brought to the table. He was, he was definitely a factor to helping the Oilers go to the 4th round and within 2 goals of a Stanley Cup. And yes, that still hurts us. We're still getting over it. But the way the Edmonton Oilers have done some restructuring so far, and there's more to come. There's word on Evander Kane that first of all, there was a lot of trade or a lot of swirling news going around saying that the Oilers asked him to lift his no trade clause. First and foremost, before I get into the Adam Henrique story, that is not the case. No one in the organization has asked Evander Kane to waive his no trade. So that for sure is a no-go. However, there is some stuff surfacing about, does he need surgery? Does he not? The latest I hear, he does not need surgery for the sports hernia or the hip. So we're going to see what happens in the next little while. But Jeff Jackson is doing some amazing things. I think Jeff Jackson's next priority now, I think he's kind of settled down his team with signing Skinner, Arvidsson, re-signing Henrique, Janmark. I think now his primary focus is going to be getting a GM, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, getting into the Adam Henrique re-signs, there was a clip, and this is on Oilers. This is courtesy of Oilers media or whatever it is. But it was Jason Gregor interviewing Adam Henrique shortly after him re-signing. And it was an 11-minute interview. I'm going to play you the first 3 minutes. And then after that, I am going to get into my takeaways, the comments that really stood out for me. And you can feel free to chime in on the message board and I will try to answer your guys' question. But anyway, let's roll the video.
See, you're still rocking the playoff beard. Nice.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you had quite a few offers. You've had a really good career to this point. What was the deciding factor for you? Was it just that you knew how good the team was, how close you came, but money's a factor sometimes. Can you kind of take us through the decision-making process to re-sign in Edmonton?
It was, I guess what it came down to was obviously a bit of familiarity being there for, since the deadline and the run we had and the guys, that was a factor for me. And then, the money and the day, it was a pretty stressful day, I guess, going through it all and trying to make, I guess, decisions and, who would be in or out and that sort of thing. But, with my wife was very supportive of the whole thing and making the decision to come back. And, it was important to me for family, and for it to be a family decision and everything we wanted. And then just to have the chance to win. And I think the group there is a special group. And it was, I had so much fun being part of it this year and just wanted more of that.
Yeah, well, it'd been a long time since you've had some success, I guess. I don't know if you forgot how fun it was being in the playoffs, but how much did that, I don't know, re-energize you and, maybe bring a little youthfulness just to the excitement and the pressure and all that wrapped up of being back in the postseason?
Well, it was big, and yeah, to be back there and have the opportunity to be in the playoffs, and then to, it really did rejuvenate me. Being on a rebuilding team for a number of years, it's hard. Early in the season, become November, December, and that you're not going to make the playoffs. You have to find a reason to play. And at the end of the day, we play hockey to win. And when you don't have that opportunity, you have to find it within to be a difference maker on the team you're on, because you want, good teams to want you.
Okay, so some of my takeaways of the comments that he said in this was familiarity. The fact that he's already, because you got to remember, when a player gets traded, they're leaving several people. They're not just leaving their teammates. They're leaving several people, from trainers, support staff, physiotherapists, video coaches. There's so many people that when a player gets traded, and it probably crushes a lot of players knowing that, oh man, I'm not going to, work with you anymore. You got to think of that. Think about you as an employee being shifted and being transferred to a different section of your country or your province or whatever. That familiarity is a big thing. So I totally understand when he said that. The other big takeaway I had from it was obviously family decision. You're going to involve your wife. You got to involve your children. Everything gets affected by this. So, I know we look at these athletes and say, oh, they make the big bucks. Who cares? But it's still uprooting their lifestyle, uprooting their life. Any way you slice it, it's still a disruptance into their life and whatever. Yes, they make a lot of money and they can afford nice toys. There's no question. But at the end of the day, do you want to keep moving around? So, I get that. And Adam Henrique has fortunately played most of his career so I think he started in Jersey and I think Anaheim. I don't know if he's played for anyone else other than Edmonton. So fortunately, he's not one of those players that had to bounce around. Chance to win. Huge comment to say right there. Huge comment. That says a lot right there. That's basically saying, hey, Connor, hey, Leo, you're my ticket to a Stanley Cup. And what Jeff Jackson has been pulling off lately, we may very well, I think the team has improved, to be honest with you. I think the team has improved. I guess we'll see the results in a few short months when the season starts up, October 9th, which we'll get into the schedule right away. But I think it's huge. So a chance to win is huge. He was stating on there that he struggled to find reasons to win back in November or after U.S. Thanksgiving, what are you playing for? But what he was playing for is to have another team interested in him, like the Edmonton Oilers, who are contenders and want to take him aboard. Rejuvenate me. This was one of the ones that I honestly looked at and said, wow. And I get it. I totally get it. He's been on some crappy ass teams. Like, I think in his first year, did he go to the final or the semifinal with Jersey? And then after that, he was on Jersey for a number of years on lousy teams, got shifted to Anaheim on lousy teams, where he was basically out of the playoffs every year. And like I said, going back to the other comment, U.S. Thanksgiving, pretty much done. Just like what the Edmonton Oilers were this year, they were pretty much done by U.S. Thanksgiving, but they pulled a miracle out of the hat and pulled it off. And playing to the Edmonton Oilers crowd and feeling the roar of the crowd and the atmosphere of the crowd, because I don't care what anyone says, the Edmonton Oilers crowd are the craziest and loudest crowd in the NHL. And I think it was definitely drawn out this year when the Stanley Cup final hit. We play hockey to win. We play hockey to win. That, to me, that comment there is showing that this is a guy that will play whatever role the coach is asking of him or the assistant coaches. If he needs to sit, he'll sit. He'll do whatever it takes to win. So I love that mentality. This is a seasoned vet. This is a huge guy, like, that's amazing with what he has done. Huge, huge player. I'm so happy we re-signed him. I was a little concerned that we wouldn't be able to. I'm so happy he re-signed. And last but not least, you want good teams to want you. And that's what the Edmonton Oilers saw in him. They saw a good player that is ready to win, ready to contribute, ready to do it all. And yeah, I'm so happy that he has came back into the fold. Adam Henrique, welcome back. Thank you for re-signing. All right, guys, let's get into the poll right now. And this relates to one Jeff Jackson, as his body of work in a short period of time has been pretty impressive. Pretty freaking impressive. So let's get into the poll question for this particular episode. And what I'm asking you guys to is, you can scan that QR code on the right-hand corner to get a direct link to my YouTube page and place the vote. There is options on there. You'll have to see the options on there. As an interim GM, what has been your favorite move or signing Jeff Jackson has done thus far? Well, I don't got the thus far in there, but done. Scan that QR code, guys. Chime in. Let's see what you guys think. There's a few tough ones too. But yeah, I think Jeff Jackson has done a fabulous job, but we need to tamper it a little bit. And we'll get into that into final thoughts a little bit. Temper our expectations because, okay, we're only looking at a couple weeks worth of his work. Now, when it came to Ken Holland, you got to remember Ken Holland had to pick up after Peter Chiarelli's damages. And it wasn't a quick fix. It was a lot of bleeding and a lot of bandages he had to put on the Edmonton Oilers team back then. So, Ken Holland did a lot to fix this team where it is. Jeff Jackson, he's made some pretty good deals to really really magnitude this team to a cup contender, and realistically, they are better. We went to the cup final. We were within 2 goals, and this team is better, believe it or not. There's players I'm going to miss, like Warren Fogle, but you know what? We're a better team. Anyway, enough of that. So scan that QR code, vote. I would love to hear what you guys think. I will display the results next week on the next episode. As far as previous poll results, I asked you guys, what was your favorite moment thus far in the 23-24 NHL season? The Heritage Classic, which was 0%. The 2 7-game plus winning streaks, 25% of you guys voted in on that. Zach Hyman hitting 50, 0% hit that. And all you guys chimed in being Western Conference champions. That's awesome. And the reason why I say that's awesome is because we're not stung that we didn't win the Stanley Cup. We're so proud of that team for winning the Western Conference champion. I'm going to be rocking that Western Conference champion hat all next year. I'm very proud of the boys. They did a hell of a job. They fought till the bitter end. They got themselves in a bad hole in that last series, and they were never able to recoup from it. But a great, great job. All right, guys. So we're going to take a look at some of the key dates of the 2024-25 NHL season, which literally starts in like 2.5 months from now. And we're right back at it. Some of the key dates. Now, everything is going to be a home date with exception to the Florida one. They do play Florida a little bit earlier in Edmonton. But the reason why I wanted to go with the away one is because that was the last game that the Edmonton Oilers played for the season, and it was in Florida, and it was obviously a result that we definitely didn't like. So anyway, let's get into this right now. All right, October 9th, the season and home opener will be against the Winnipeg Jets. And whether they raise the Western Conference banner that night, I'm not sure. I would imagine they will. On October 25th, Sidney Crosby and the Penguins will be in town. Steven Stamkos and the Nashville Predators. That's right, guys. Steven Stamkos and the Nashville Predators will be in town November 14th. That's still kind of weird to say. Steven Stamkos and the Nashville Predators. December 31st, it'll be a New Year's Eve party with the Utah Hockey Club. I still don't like the fact that Utah, in the time that they had to buy it, haven't been able to come up with a logo and a name and all that kind of stuff. I know it's good to be patient to get it right, but come on, man. They should have been able to get it right by now. Every other team was able to when they got moved. January 21st, Ovechkin and the Capitals will be in town. Austin Matthews and the Maple Leafs will be in town on February the 1st. Hart Trophy winner Nathan McKinnon and the Colorado Avalanche will be in town February 7th. And again, on February 7th, and on February 27th, the Oilers will be on the road in Florida for the rematch of the Game 7 Stanley Cup Final. Obviously, if the Oilers win, it's not like they will be hoisting the Stanley Cup, but it'll be a little bit of retribution. There will be no Oiler games from February 8th to 21st as they will be taking part in the Four Nations tournament. Canada, U.S., Sweden, and Finland. This is probably going to be the one event and the only chance you're going to see McDavid and Crosby playing on the same team, provided no one gets injured between those points there. And then the season will end April 16th in San Jose, and the playoffs will begin. And we're going to give another run at potentially another Stanley Cup. All right, guys. Yeah, it's been kind of a whirlwind. Right now I'm in summer mode, so it's kind of nice to do these videos just once a week or just very little videos and that. I am always still working on trying to improve the channel, but yeah, it's kind of a nice little break, and it was nice to just bask in the sun. Anyway, let's get into the final thoughts for tonight, and then I will be wrapping it up. I'll see if there's any comments. If there's comments, I will display them and I will try to answer them. Let's dive into this. Okay, so one question I have for you guys right now as part of final thoughts is Oiler Nation overreacting to the small body of work Jeff Jackson has done as the interim GM? Guys, we're only a couple of weeks into it. Yes, he's made some remarkable stuff happen. But everyone right now is like, no, Jeff, you stay. You be our GM. You're the guy. You're the guy. I think it's a little early to just I think we need to just tone it down, just tamper it down, and I mean, he's not going to be that role. He's not going to take the GM role. We know that. He's going to assign somebody. And right now, the candidates are like Mark Hunter, Keith Gretzky. There's a few candidates right now. I'm not a big fan if Stan Bowman comes aboard, but I'm going to have to support him if he does. But I think he is actually kind of one of the guys that the Edmonton Oilers are kind of not looking at. I think they don't really want to dabble with that kind of history. So we'll see what happens. Let's see if there's any comments here tonight. No comments tonight. So anyway, guys, I'm already pumped for the 24-25 season. I think for you guys out there wondering if Draisaitl's going to get signed and McDavid's going to get signed, I really do believe that those guys are sitting in a cabin somewhere, probably in Ontario, in the bush, working things out, what they want for money and all that kind of stuff, and how they can make it work, because I think those two are inseparable. I mean, they may not be Edmonton Oilers, but I think they will be a pair of teammates on some other team, which it really makes it as a hard trade to get both of them on board. I'm not too worried. I think it's going to happen. I think that's Jeff Jackson's priority once he gets the GM sorted out. So all you guys out there, don't worry too much. I think it's going to happen. Anyway, guys, if you were witnessing this channel for the very first time and you like the content I bring, I need you guys to hit like, share, and subscribe. I absolutely need this from you guys. Help me grow this channel. Help me get monetized so I can do bigger and better things. I am a student of this practice, and I looked at videos that I've done way back from 3 years ago to where I am now. I know I'm getting better and better and better, but I know there's still so much to learn with this. And I know I can distribute you guys amazing content. So I need you guys to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Pass it on to all your buddies and friends. Other than that, guys, I'm out of here. We'll see you next week.